What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl Ashley. I'm gonna sing it now. And we're back with another episode of our Journey of Love podcast. I'm here with my adorable, sexy, handsome husband.
What up, though?
Yes, honey. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little sleepy.
Okay. I appreciate that introduction. You got to put a little energy in it.
You know, I gotta hype you up every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. It's been a while since we've been in the studio, you know.
In the lab.
Yeah, it's been a minute. We, for those of you who don't know, we pre-record a lot of our episodes. So, it's been, what, a month? Has it been a month?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dang. It's been that long.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That means we were really recording ahead of time.
Yep. Got to put out that good content.
Yeah. So, as you all know, if you've been keeping tabs, we have just had our family edition where we interviewed our parents, so you can kind of see where our ideas of family, love, and relationships, how they kind of formulated based on our upbringing and, you know, some of the things we saw growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was an excellent series.
It was.
I think we both learned things that we had no idea about.
Yeah, got some little known facts and little trinkets of surprises and things of that sort.
Yes. So I think this was an awesome way to just kind of take it back a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
You know, examine where we came from. Get to the roots, not the roots, the roots.
And then what the old folks said,
the roots.
The root.
Get to the roots. But Philmore and I were talking, and I know initially I thought was to just do a 4-part series. But after some discussion, we figured we need to do a finale series. And the finale should be about us, and where we specifically talk about things we learned from both of our parents, whether it was a taught lesson or a lesson we just learned by observing, and how those challenges affected Philmore and I earlier on, some things you had to work through. And hopefully this will help you in whatever season you are in your relationship, that knowing that, you know, sometimes you just got to work through some things. You have to understand where a person comes from to really understand why they do some of the things that they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important in really getting to know your partner. What you think?
That is correct.
Hey.
Absolutely believe in that. I mean, because, hey, it's two sides to a coin, and, you know, neither side is the same.
It ain't.
No.
What about them coins that's the same on both sides?
Yeah. That's a misprint. They used to throw those out.
That's a misprint, baby?
Yeah, misprint. Machine, somebody went on coffee break.
Okay. So I think we should switch it up. I think we should start with you, because I know most of the time we start with me.
Mm-hmm.
So, from this whole series, what are your takeaways? What do you learn, not only about me, but about you, and just all that good jazz? How, you know, some of those things may have affected us in the beginning stages and all that good stuff.
I would just say, starting off, I guess we'll say about you, because I mean, know about me. But you know, there's some of the things I learned from you know, your parents. You know, growing up. You know, well, not saying growing up, but you know, knowing that you know, was raised in a single parent home,
mm-hmm.
and you know, obviously I wasn't there. You know, inside the house, so it was kind of like, you know, everything I saw from me knowing you was from the outside, not knowing what was in the inside.
Right.
So, I mean, you know, based off your mom, you know, that toughness,
mm-hmm.
that usual single strong moms give out, that toughness, that independence, and you know, I can tell that in you.
Yeah.
That strong independence in you.
Yeah.
And she instilled a lot of church,
mm-hmm.
and the man upstairs in you, because she wanted to make sure you had another person in there.
Yeah.
to help you when she couldn't be there, or
right,
may have slipped up or whatnot. But yeah, she did a good job. I mean, she dropped some good gems.
She did.
As far as being focused and making sure you wasn't distracted by things that could distract normal kids or teenagers at certain ages.
Right.
And also she did the best things she could by making you become a good lady.
Yes.
And not letting these knuckleheads come out here and just do and say, and then once you be impressionable.
Right.
Yeah. So, she laid a good foundation. She did the best way she could, or the best way she knew how. So, I appreciate her that. And your dad, coming from, from listening from his story, which was, really good, actually, because, it's the, you usually don't hear from the male's perspective.
Yeah.
Of the absentee.
Right.
You always hear from everybody else
right.
who's typically against the absentee. So
right.
They really doesn't have a voice, and we don't give them a platform, and sometimes they need it.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what's gonna come out of it. And I thought he really was vulnerable. It was a really vulnerable session that he put out there. Admitting to his faults,
right.
to apologizing, to realizing that, mistakes he made, and, he owned up to it. And I, coming from, where I'm coming from, I don't, I didn't know what to expect.
Right.
But, that's what I got from him. He was really, he didn't shy from any questions. He didn't stutter. He was determined to be like, look, this was happening, and this is how I was feeling. And that was the more important part that I was listening to, was how he was feeling.
Right.
What was going on in his head.
Right.
And so, with stories, there's always, a version that you need to hear.
Yeah.
And he did a good job. And then he also, complimented your mom for doing a good job, and your grandparents for being there, and he's trying to move forward with you and y'all's relationship.
Yep.
So he could be there and enjoy the moment.
Right.
We ain't gonna forget about the past, but
right.
It's what you do forward.
Yeah, moving forward.
How you learn from your mistakes and so yeah, real stand up guy. Real stand up guy. So.
Okay. So I guess it's my go.
Yeah.
So what I learned from sitting down with your parents, I'll start with your dad first. The one thing that I took away from that whole session in relation to you was how he wanted you to be a leader. He didn't want you to be a follower. So I think that's one thing that we had in common, the whole, don't follow everybody. Can't do what everybody else doing.
True.
Type, situation. The whole, stand for something or fall for anything motto. That was huge. So I felt like he was instilling principles in you for you to be a good black man, for you to be able to lead your family and have morals and character. And I thought that was great. As far as your mom, she's the more loving side of the equation. To make sure that you were, cognizant of how you treated people, their feelings, emotions. I think you had just the good balance, that tough love and then the mother love.
Right,
Come here, baby.
Right.
Come here, let me talk to you. That's the gist I got. So I thought it was great. Definitely some stories that you haven't even shared. I'm like, what? But I think it was great just to go, like you said, just to go back and to really see what our parents were thinking during that time when they were raising us, some of the trials they were going through, and how through all of that, they still, made it a priority to make sure, okay, no matter what I got going on, the fact that your dad only missed, I think, one event out of everything that you did with all the jobs and activities that he was working, that spoke volumes to me too, because, it was like, that was important for him to be there for you. And I see that when it comes to us in this relationship, how it's important for you to be there. So yeah, some good stuff. Some real good stuff.
Yeah, it was good positive.
Yeah.
Good positive. And I would say this, that listen to everybody and what they had to say. They gave us a background of where they came from and what did they wanted to share off to us.
Right.
And to the younger people out there, when you're growing up and then you questioning and getting mad at your parents and be like, why are you doing this and why are you doing that, and you just being mean, and this, that, and the other. And they have reasons behind that,
right? Because
of where they came from and what they didn't have,
right?
And they just doing it the best way they can and the best way they know how, because there's not a, I guess they're book. Well, there are books, but there ain't no book,
right?
To go out here and
tell you step by step how to raise your child. Yeah.
Right. Live their life and raise their child. There's the don't do books.
Right.
Don't do this.
Right. Right.
But I think they made their decisions, and some of them you can tell that they wasn't proud of, but it was called sacrifices.
Yeah.
And I like that your mom made a lot of sacrifices, especially when she was going to school. Yeah. Being as young as she had you, and her trying to be an adult as well. So it's good stuff.
I just think, I think it's important for everyone to realize that there are no perfect parents.
Nope.
And because I do hear a lot of people say, well, I act like this because of my mother or my father or whoever the case may be. But I really think for everyone, not just for our parents, but for everyone, your parents do, just like Phil said, the best they can with what they know how to do. The thing is, with each generation, should just get better. Just like some of the things our parents were lacking in which they had growing up, they made sure that they provided that to Philmore and I. And just like whenever Philmore and I have a child, the same will be done for us. If there was something that we felt, hey, I didn't really get this in the child and I wanted this. Let me make sure that I provide this for my child. And so I think that's important to, I guess, when it comes to me, I guess I'm speaking from a point of forgiveness. Because I know a lot of people have resentment against their parents about what they didn't do, couldn't do, wouldn't do. But if you really sit down and kind of talk to them and figure out what was going on in each season of their life,
right,
I think you have a better appreciation and understanding, and like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. I understand why X, Y, and Z didn't happen. I understand why all of this didn't happen. So I think just for the sake of clarity and the sake of moving forward and not holding any ill will against your parents, if you have it, I think that that conversation is necessary for sure. Right. Because it can leak into your personal relationships, and that's just facts. So speaking of, so after we talked to all of our parents and things, what were, when you and I initially, well, I shouldn't say initially met, because when we initially met, we were just friends, so I don't really count. So when we started dating, what were some of the challenges that you had with me, like from that dating perspective? And pretty much after hearing both of my parents, do you kind of see where those quote unquote issues or problems or challenges came from?
I would say this, probably compromising.
Okay. Meaning I don't compromise.
I mean, we've came
Is that what
along.
that mean?
We came a long way. No, I would say compromising because I mean, you're the only child, and I don't know how it is to be the only child.
Okay.
And it was just you and your mom.
Yeah.
And the fact that she raised you and to be so independent, it was just learn how to do it by yourself. You don't need no help. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
My way or the highway type of deal. And that's what I got. And it was kind of hard, at the beginning to let you ease them vice grips, like just loosen up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Like everything, you don't have to do everything solo.
Yeah.
Because what kind of relationship is that if you do everything solo? Then you're gonna walk around thinking that you're just doing it all by yourself,
right?
And so coming from my end, I had to compromise, because it was 3 other more people in my house.
Right. Right.
I didn't have my own bathroom, man. I didn't, I had to share televisions.
Always had my own.
That's what I'm saying. So I had to share TV,
Had my own TV.
So I had to share a lot. So, I had to learn real early about compromising. So,
Yeah.
it was automatically natural to do that.
Okay.
So it was kind of like trying to show you, like, hey, hey.
And I was like,
Right.
Nope. Say what? Oh, that's cute. No, we're not doing it though.
Like, you gotta bend a little bit. Another thing would be, I guess to piggyback off of that would be, your independency, but being a loner, and things you could, do by yourself and be like, man, we could have done that together. And, it wasn't, I took it as a slap in the face. It was just more like you just been doing it for so long.
Yeah, that's me.
And when you've been doing that for so long, it's just natural. And, it's not even a second thought to, let me just ask if they want to do it, because you want to do it, boom, let me go.
Yep, I'm going. I'm not calling, I'm not texting. I be trying to tell people that. They be like, I be like, listen, I don't have time to run down my itinerary. And then I'm so sporadic, I could literally be a bum from 8 a.m. to 4:30. And all of a sudden at 4:31, I'm like, you know what? Let me just run here real quick.
Right.
And I just put on some clothes and go. A lot of people ain't like that because they were, why you ain't call me early? Because I just decided 2 minutes ago, do you want to go? No, I don't have time for all that. Let me just go and be by myself and enjoy this. Instead of sitting here and have to convince somebody to come out here with me. I don't have time for that.
I mean, and I see your point, because I can be a loner. I can be a loner. But, sometimes, you have to realize everybody is not a loner.
Yeah.
And, it's okay to have, ask, hey, do you want to go? Yada, yada, yada. And then, but, you still have and I think it takes away of the disappointing factor of somebody letting you down and not showing up or flaking on you, as we say.
Oh, I never even thought about it like that.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't like being around people all the time. And for me, I don't understand why everybody wants to be around somebody all the time. Like,
I feel you.
Besides you, I've never was like, oh yeah, I want to be around them all the time. Like, you don't bother me. I don't care if you're around. That's fine. You're my husband. I love you. But some I'd be like, oh, child, you've been here for 32 minutes. I am over this. Like, what is you?
But you know what? That in that feeling that you have,
yeah.
Most females are not like that. Coming from male, that type of attitude is coming from men most of the time. We do stuff, and then y'all go, why you didn't ask me if I want to do that? Why you didn't ask me if I want to do it? You be like, bruh.
Yeah, see,
I could have I just really just want to go do this real quick and be done.
Right.
Now I gotta go spend extra money. I gotta go make sure you get ready. Exactly. We gotta plan it. And I could have been sold this.
Exactly.
Been done with it. Moved on about my life. Now I gotta wait till next week.
Exactly. And I think some of that, because I grew up around a lot of guys, so I kind of took on some of their tendencies with some of the stuff, you know. So one of the things was, one of my homeboys will always get on me if I ever cried or anything. So like being the one that not really show emotion, that was part of it. Being the one that was like, I actually had some guys that I dated before, they was like, man, you act like the dude in this relationship. Like when it comes to emotions and stuff, I'm like, listen, I just talked to you on Monday. It is Friday. Why are we talking again? Like, I mean, it would legit be, I'd be like, what do you want? What is it? Like,
exactly.
So yeah, I'm not the norm when it comes to that.
Exactly.
I think, you were. I don't think you were the first guy I talked to every day. And they getting tired of it.
Right. Even beyond when we was, growing up, we wasn't, I didn't hit you up like that all the time. But I think that what just made it, our personalities, it just what made it that way. It made us be cool. Being like, I could not talk for a week and then see you be like, hey,
and
what up?
Cool. We catch right back up. Pick up where we left off. Yeah. That's how that works.
Like, bam. Okay. I think another one is, stemming from your father. And, yes, I was, there during some of those times where, you would have those conflicts. Yeah. And how you would take it out on me, I had to be a real one. Put my feet in this ground and be like, look, I'm not going nowhere.
Yeah.
Because I think the best thing that all of us human beings could do is push. Yeah. When we don't want anything, we push. Babies, they push. When they don't want it, they push. Yeah. Push away. And because they know they push, it's gonna go away. Eventually, if they keep pushing, it's gonna go away. Right. And I'm like, I'm not going nowhere. I've been here this long, I ain't going.
Did you feel like I was pushing you away? And I was taking stuff out on you?
I felt like, it was an attempt, but I didn't take it that way. Okay. Because I knew where it was coming from. And if I didn't know where it was coming from, see, like if I was probably somebody that didn't know you as long, or didn't know the situation, then I could have. But due to the fact that I knew the background, it was a whole lot easier to deal with than not knowing the facts. And that's why a lot of people get in trouble, is sometimes, not knowing all the facts. Yeah. Or where a person's coming from, and that's how they take stuff the wrong way. Yeah.
You have to understand, because there's always a place of where that comes from. Right. And I think we touched on it lightly on a previous episode, but really understanding why your partner acts the way they do. That takes a lot of self-reflection and evaluation, you know. And not everyone does that. But they should. They really should. Okay. Yeah. Any other challenges you had?
No, that was it. Yeah.
Okay. I can see where you got those from. I think I've worked on compromising.
Yes, you have. We are married.
Yeah. But I can definitely see, especially in the beginning, I was very, and even when you talk to my dad, you can see that I was very stubborn.
Oh man, when I met your dad, oh man, I was like, carbon copy.
Very stubborn.
Carbon copy.
And even to the point, I know I made the statement or something similar to, I'm not bending. Like, I'm just really not bending. Right. And if you'll bend, then I'll think about it. So I've always been the kind of stand your ground. Like, no, you're not going to run over me. This is what we doing. If you don't like it, the door. That's always been my mentality. So,
but where the love part come into that, it was the fight that I had to go be like, yeah, I'm not going to just let you do that.
Yeah. You fought. I'll give you that. You fought, you clawed, pounded, got the jackhammer. You was working. Yep.
and you know what's crazy? We knew that from the very, very, very beginning. Yeah. From the very, it was like one of the first conversations we had. Like, look, I'm made out of ice. You're a rock. So
yeah.
Look, we both hard now. We both cold.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And you know, I felt like it was my responsibility as a man to, if I want this to work, I'm gonna have to be the one to take lead and, you know, show her how this rocket or this ice can be broken down.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if I didn't, then
we weren't gonna work.
Nope.
Nope. And that's fact. We just wasn't. It was like we was both just gonna be staring at each other like.
For all the people out there, I still tell her to this day, if we're both gonna be stubborn, ooh, this is gonna be bad. That is one of the things that we both have in common. We are both stubborn.
Yeah, I think
and
we still
nobody lets their guy. Ooh.
See, that's another way I've learned to compromise, especially when it comes to that. That's another reason too, y'all, that you really have to understand your partner because, like you said, we are both stubborn and we're both very. Yeah, I'll just leave it at stubborn. You know, so when conflict does arise between us, somebody has got to make the first move. Have got to. I know another thing that Philmore and I both share is that we'll shut down quick.
Facts. Real
quick. Like, if it's a whole lot, I'd be like, bro, listen, I'm not. I'm just not. Like, I'm not doing this with you. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And so knowing that, we purposely went into this relationship, was like, all right, we know we have these factors, quote unquote, set up against us.
Right.
And we know these will be a stumbling block if we allow them to be.
Right.
So we have to make every effort that when a situation arises in our relationship that we're not going to shut down. As bad as we want to, we're not going to shut down. Now, that doesn't mean one of us hasn't shut down. I think I've shut down a couple of times. And Philmore has called me on the carpet, whether I wanted to hear it or not. I was like, you're shutting down. I was like, okay. And it's just like a reminder, even in the heat of the moment, you're shutting down, you know? And so then it's like, now I'm annoyed because you done call me out on shutting down. So now we gonna have an argument about you calling me out.
I remember we used to do that way before we was dating. We used to call each other out like, look, bro.
Yeah, but see, it's different when you in a relationship. Like when you in a friendship, you expect that. You know, I can just hang up on you, be like, you know. But I think that relationship element adds something to it. It's like, don't say nothing to me, like. But I think that's important, and it's important that you hold your partner accountable. I think accountability is key when it comes to situations like that. So yeah, compromise was huge for me, learning to do that. As far as being a loner, I just think that's what it is at this point in my life. I mean, I don't mind being around the people, just not for an extended amount of time. And I keep my circle small and I keep it tight knit. It doesn't mean, I know a lot of people. I just don't hang with a lot of people. You know, I hang with my circle. And I look at people crazy when they try to come to the circle. I'm like, who is this? I don't know them. Why are they here? Which is the direct opposite of my husband, who talks to everybody and everything. So she said, "I'm loose out here." So I just always give him the side. I'm like, well, do you know them? Oh no, I just met them and we was over here talking. I'm like, what? Why?
Hey man, but you know what? I got that from my dad.
You sure did.
I got that, man. You know, and I would say this: I was not always like that. I was very mute, young coming up, and he was always, you know, telling me that you always got a network. You never know who you're gonna meet. You know, you gotta always extend that olive branch. You can't be always just closed mouth. You want to get something done, you know, you gotta open your mouth, yada yada yada. And to this day, he cannot go nowhere. without knowing anybody. And that's a fact. Like, we can go anywhere, but you know what? He's always getting the hookup. And every time you meet somebody, I ain't never met him before, but they know, oh, your dad is this, that, and it's always on a high praise, and they don't waste no time. They just want to roll the red carpet out for him, and this, that, and the other. And he's always building these relationships in order to, get into a game or getting backstage at a concert, or you name it, you got it. He was, that type of guy. And, I think it kind of rubbed off on me as I got older, because sometimes you never know who you meet. Yeah. And I'd be surprised sometimes this, sparking up a conversation or just we see something and then you just lean in, you see that. The next thing you know that you didn't find out they work at a radio station that you've been looking for, you've been struggling to find somewhere. You be like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
It's still not my personality. Now, if someone sparks a convo with me, then yeah, but chances are me just sitting down and be like, oh, hey, that's slim to none. Because I am. Sometimes I just don't want to. I mean, even at parties, like, I want to chill. Like, I'm that person that's in the corner chilling, crowd watching, people watching. And I'm fun. I'm having fun. I'm good in my circle, in my loop. Don't come out now. I don't want to dance. I'm too cute to split out my hair. Let me sit here. That's just me. But I think, for me, for just doing a little bit of self-reflection after hearing everything, I know one of my challenges for me was how to bounce back from a disagreement. I personally think that was something I struggle with because in my mind, and that sparks a little bit from my dad, but just how to bounce back from a disagreement, because from my prior history in dating guys, whenever there was like an argument, I wasn't even willing to attempt to work it out, because to me, in my mind, excuse me, there's a problem and you'll probably use this as an excuse to try to leave anyway. So I'm not going to put forth any efforts to solve this problem. I'm just going to leave. I'm going to just go ahead and exit stage left. And I think a little bit of that sparked from my dad, from him being absent. And also the idea of that men can and will leave at any time. So I don't know if I ever really for real considered or put in the work necessary for like a relationship, because I'm like, I mean, you probably gonna leave anyway, so why? I mean, that's true. That's honesty moment, So I just kind of had this wall built up where it was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, we can date until you get on my nerves, and then I'm just no, I don't want to talk about it. And it could have been the smallest thing. It's like, oh, no, I'm good. Nope. And I mean, it was a solid cutoff. It wasn't no, oh, I'm sorry, I was over it. It was a solid, like, I'm not talking to you, block your number, delete your number. I'm good. Like, I'm out the door. So I think when it came to you, I think I had a little bit of that. I think in the back of my mind, especially early on, was more of a, how much is he going to take before he walk away? It was that kind of mentality. It's like, how much is he really going to take? Like, is he really going to be the one that if an issue arises, is he really going to be the one that wants to work it out, talk through, like, how's this really going to work? So I think that was one of the things, excuse me, that I had in my mind when it came to you. And then for you personally, some of the things that I think were challenges from my perspective in relationship to you were, I personally felt that your view on relationships were limited. And I felt that you thought our relationship should work like the example that you saw. And for me, that just wasn't going to work. Right. And I know we had a lot of conversations, and I was like, I was quick to tell you who I wasn't. I'm not them. I'm not so-and-so. I'm not so-and-so. I said, so what works for them is not going to work with Ashlee. Period. In a discussion. So if that's what you think, this ain't the relationship that you need to be. We had a lot of those conversations.
Right.
And I think, which we previously addressed sometime, it was a communication breakdown between us, which I thought was interesting because when we was friends, we didn't have this problem. But I think with us dating, it required a different level of communication.
Right.
And there was an adjustment period that needed to occur.
Yes, it was.
There was an adjustment period. So I'm like, why are you not talking to me? Well, I told, no. So there was definitely a level up in communication that needs to happen. So I felt there was some communication challenges. And I also felt that you didn't really want to confront or tackle issues head on. You were always the peacemaker. And that got on my nerves because I'm like, okay, listen, I understand all that, but sometimes conflict has to happen for growth to happen. But you were just trying to smooth it up, like, okay, let's just do this. And I'm like, no, because we're not getting to the root of the problem. Like, we're not doing that until we figure out what the heck is going on. So yeah, those were some of the things that I felt were challenges for us initially. So, okay. But I saw, like, after talking to your parents, I can see where some of those come from, you know.
Right. You can see from the peacemaker from my mom.
The peacemaker is definitely from your mom. Definitely, you know, because I always tell you, you know, that I'm very dogmatic, especially if it's something I believe in or someone I care about. Like, I'm very dogmatic. I'm not going to, no. The peace is going to come when we figure out what the problem started and how to fix the problem. That's when the peace is going to come, you know. That doesn't mean I'm going to go around the house, tearing up the house either. But that means we're going to have a serious conversation. And the conversation is not done until we figure out what it is, you know. So, yeah.
Which is cool. You know, based off of how I review relationships, all I could go with based off of what I knew, what I went through.
Right.
You know, so, you know, I guess that can be to a fault. But, you know, everybody's, I guess, journey, as we are in our journey of love right here, is, you know, everybody's different. So, you know, I ain't gonna say some, none of them stuff you went through, I didn't, you know, go through. So it was a lot of, I couldn't relate, you know, it was a lot of, I couldn't relate type deals. Right. You know, and that's, you know, why it was so, like, culture shocking, especially for both of us when you looking at me like, bro, why do you, and I'm looking at you, why are you acting like right, you know, right, because our relationship transcript was totally different.
It was
totally different. You know, but, you know, I had to learn and adjust, and adapt. You know, so, you know, that's just, you know, being part of it, and, you know, and just to be the peacemaker. I wasn't always a peacemaker. That's something I had to develop over time. I'm talking about in my adult time, because I used to be just straight up
a-hole. I know.
And still can be.
Yeah.
And I just know that, you know, me being a-hole
didn't work.
Does not work, because I can be real, just like very, you know, revert to my dad's side, very unemotional. Don't care. Yeah. I don't care if you cry. You can keep crying. Are you done yet?
Jeez.
You know? And so that wasn't, you know, again, helping me out in my relationships. Yeah. And I know that, you know, you women are sensitive. Yeah. And we have to take your feelings into consideration. You know, and so that's where it comes from. So it's kind of like, okay, let me just, I give him the, okay, it's gonna be all right. But then you want to, but your personality is like, no, we gonna handle this. I'm like, okay, we finna handle it. So you want to handle this? Yep. Okay. Are you sure? Because when I get to talking,
yep. Yep. That's what I want. That's what I want, because one of the things that I require from all my relationships, as you can probably tell with my dad, one of the things I was adamant about before we actually got to before I got to a point of like true forgiveness with him, is one thing I constantly told him was, I require for you to be authentic. I don't need you to sugarcoat nothing, because us sugarcoating issues, concerns, problems is not going to help us in the long run. You know, so what is it that you need to, say to get off your chest to help us get to where we need to be and not deal with this? Because my whole goal was, I'm not going to keep dealing with this issue every 2, 3, 4 months down the line because you won't get to the root of it, or because you're trying to sugarcoat it, or because you're trying to, okay, baby, it's okay. No, it's not okay. We're going to figure this out, you know? So I think that's the same thing I took with you is, I don't want you, and one thing I've always told you is that you need to, this relationship is not just about me. You know, the whole line of happy wife, happy life. I don't really know if I totally agree with that, because you're in this relationship too. You understand what I'm saying? So if only one person is happy in a relationship, is that really a happy relationship? You know? That's honest though.
I would say it's not as simple as that. It is, but it's not. It's more, if you look at it, because most men, we don't require as much as a woman does. So that's why it's more of that's why they say happy wife, happy life. You know, just for those who just didn't know. But yeah, I see what you're coming from, and that take on that stems from your mom. You know, she preached about that. Like, no, let's get to the root of the problem. Let's solve this now.
Because to me, it doesn't make sense if only one person is completely satisfied in a relationship, you know, because I would think about if the shoe was reversed and I was making all these concessions for you, and you were able to you're out here just happy as can be, and I'm over here suffering in silence. That's not fair, you know? So we switch the roles back. That's not fair for you. Like, if there's something you have a concern about, voice your concern so it can be addressed, so that there are not any thoughts or misconceptions about what the issue may be.
Right.
It may just be a basic misunderstanding, but if you don't say that, how am I supposed to know? And vice versa, how are you supposed to know? You know? So, yeah. That's where that came from. So, yes, it irked me that you were just always trying to just smooth it over. Just sweep it under the bed. It's fine. We're okay. No, we're not. We're not okay.
Because she wanted that old Philmore back. That's what that was.
It's not even the old Philmore. I want you to be honest with yourself and with me, you know, because what I'm not trying to do is fall into the pitfall of having this image of a perfect relationship and having this image of, oh, they're so great together, they're so cute together, and behind closed doors, we got a truckload of issues because nobody is communicating. I'm not here for that at all.
I agree.
So, yeah.
For those who think that it's, you know, a shiny walking toy, this is not. This is not. This is work.
It very much is work.
Yes, it is.
I think I underestimated how much work it was. I did.
Did you?
I did. I absolutely did. Absolutely. It's worth it.
I didn't underestimate it because I went in didn't know what to put the scale on it.
Yeah.
So I didn't, you know, I came in, that's how I came in. So I didn't have I didn't know how the degree of difficulty.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not going to sit there and say I underestimated. I just didn't know. So I went in with, you know, I'm just going to take these punches and see.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, now that you've been into, how long have we been married? A little over a year? Almost a year and a half?
Almost a year and a half, yeah, almost a year and a half.
So up until this point, from wedding day to now, on a scale of 1 from 10, with 10 being the absolute most challenging thing you've ever done, how would you rate the work required to put in marriage?
I'm going to say this, I'm glad I'm out these streets. I'm glad I'm out these streets.
But there ain't no number. You glad you out the streets?
Okay, I said 10 then.
Okay. So, but you glad you out the streets.
I'm glad I'm out the streets.
But you came out the streets into a whole work situation.
That is true. That is true. But, you know, I'm putting in work, and so I see my investment.
You see your investment?
Yes.
Okay. So, again, marriage ain't easy.
No, it's not.
But it's worth it.
It's worth it.
Oh, let me find out. It's worth it.
I mean, like I told you this a little while back. I'm like, I just can't imagine, you know, me going back out in the streets. I really can't, because all that's
it's
all the work that I don't have to do now.
You got another set. You advanced level now.
Man, what? It's like you got that promotion and you just like get paid more. You don't have to do all that tedious work. Like, man.
Yeah. But you got more job responsibility.
That is true.
Yeah.
But that's what you want when you want the promotion, though.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You're up for the task.
Up for the task.
Up for the task.
So yeah, let's see, what else? You talked about all your challenges.
Mm-hmm.
You covered all that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't want to cut you off. I was like, wait, did you cover everything I said?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because
I went first.
Oh, you sure did. Look at you.
I'm smiling over here, y'all.
He is. Teeth and gums. So, so yeah, that is what we gained from our parents, from ourselves. And again, we cannot stress enough how important it is to really do some self-reflection as to why you do the things that you do, and share that with your partner, just so there is no miscommunication, no misconceptions about, you know, why you're acting the way you're acting, why you may be acting quote unquote crazy. It's the reason behind that.
Right.
And you got to get to the what, babe? Got to get to the roots.
Get to the roots.
Get to the roots. Get to the root of the problem.
And I want to thank all our parents.
Yes.
For taking their time to do this.
Yes.
You know, I'm sure they felt a little pressure behind this, and maybe, you know, I don't know, maybe it was, you know, wasn't easy, but you did it, and I appreciate it. Y'all did it out of love. You know, we didn't have to pull no teeth.
Nope, not at all.
You know,
not at all.
Y'all traveled, and we traveled to get this done. You know, I wish we had like a little camera team.
I know, that would have been hot.
Behind the scenes. You could have put some footage out there.
That would have been hot.
But, you know, you live and you learn.
Right.
But yeah, I appreciate to all our parents, moms, dads. You guys did a wonderful job. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
You never know, we might need you again. Different topic.
Oh, that'd be interesting. I wonder what topic that would be.
I don't know. You know, you never know.
You never
know. You know, that might need different angles.
That is true.
You know, they might be in town and they'd be like, hey, how about you just come speak on this real quick?
Come get on this mic real quick. Yeah. Oh, I just thought about something that was really key with my father's relationship and you.
What?
I can't remember. I can't remember. I can't believe I forgot this. So, let's rewind before we close. Yeah. Rewind all that. So, the other thing that was very critical in Philmore and Ashlee's relationship when it was forgiveness. I know I briefly mentioned this, but when it came to my father and everything that him and I had been through, forgiveness was hard for me. But I also knew that it was very important for me to understand how to forgive, because I was about to enter into a marriage, and I know marriage is, listen, you have got to be forgiven in marriage, or else you just gonna be pissed off the whole marriage. And that's real talk.
That's true.
So it was critical that, I know when Philmore said I was taking some of the stuff out from my dad on him, it was very critical for me to get to a place of true forgiveness. Not that, oh, yeah, I forgive you, but not really.
Yeah, you're still holding the grudge.
Yeah. I think that was very, very important. So it was important that I first forgave my father so that I can come into the marriage with Philmore and, one, know how to do that and be genuine with it, and not that whole, oh, okay, yeah, I forgive you. but not really, and still secretly, like you said, holding a grudge or just annoyed when you do certain things. So yeah, that's another key. I can't believe I forgot.
Major key alert.
Major key. Okay, I'm done for real.
Cali voice.
I'm done for real now.
You done?
I'm done. I'm done.
Done.
I'm done.
Okay.
Any last words from you, sir?
I just said him.
You said them before we rewinded?
You gave all my shout outs and thank yous.
Well, again, this was fun. We hope you all enjoyed the family series, and we hope you gleaned something from, if not all of the stories, at least one of the stories touched your heart. But share it. Share it to the world. It's definitely some topics that people need to discuss, they need to hear. Maybe to start a whole conversation between either you and your parents, or you and your spouse, your partner, whatever the case may be. So we thank you, listeners, for tuning in to us every week, listening to me and my honeymoon go back and forth.
And one more thing. And for those who are having troubles, if you're single or in a relationship and you're having troubles and you just, want to know why certain things are happening and why certain things are happening in the same relationships over and over and over with different people, just take some self-reflection and maybe look back and, just talk to your folks.
Yep.
Talk to your folks because, they are your examples, of way you view life and in general. So, maybe you can look back and just ask them some couple questions and why they did this and why did you tell me this? And maybe that's the reason why you look at certain things the way you do. And then you can assess on it and look at it and be like, is this right? Or am I just doing it because that's what I know?
Yeah. I think that's helpful.
Yeah.
I think that's very helpful. And I think, too, parents don't share a lot when it comes to their personal relationship, their love relationship. So yeah, you might have to do a little probing. But I think it's important that you do that.
Yeah.
I'm all about self-evaluation, self-reflection, take a moment, woosah, get it out. Because the problem is not always your partner, people. Hello, sister, go. Hello, let me say that again. The problem is not always your partner. And that's fact.
Facts.
But okay, we're gonna close for real. We're gonna close for real. So again, thank you listeners for tuning in to us every week. We so appreciate it. Remember to follow us on all of our platforms. We are on IG, Facebook, YouTube, what else? Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcasts. As my husband like to say, we are on
everything.
We on everything. So be sure to follow us, interact with us, leave comments, reviews. We love to hear feedback from you. But until next time, guys, remember, love is patient, love is kind. We'll see you all here next time. Peace.